Mamelodi is a township located about 30 kilometers northeast of Pretoria in South Africa. It is part of the Metropolitan Municipality of Tshwane in Gauteng. It was created under the apartheid laws to accommodate the black population of Pretoria, expelled from the city center. According to the 2011 census, Mamelodi has more than 334,577 inhabitants. It is in this suburb, made up of more than 98% of the black populations, that we are following the footsteps of Brother Israel Nkomdima, a South African pastor heading a big church in the end-time message. It is in his private residence, located in the Meyer-Sparks suburb in Pretoria, that we have an appointment with him. We are greeted by the two melodious voices on the song, "You Are Wonderful."
Your grace abounds to me.
And after a few minutes, the pastor appears in his living room smiling and warmly greeting us.
Shine it all around. First help me to live it Lord. And when I'm doing well, help me to never see.
Who is Israel Nkomdima? This man who preaches the end-time message in this township for over 40 years. He worked selflessly for decades and managed to save thousands of souls for the glory of the Lord. Very gifted in the teachings about the seals, Reverend Nkomdima strongly defends the revelation of the seventh seal and the ministry of the Son of Man. Our camera followed him for 2 days to realize this documentary, which we devote to him. Mamelodi Tabernacle is the name of his church. It has been established in the suburb of Pretoria since the early 1990s, but its origins go back several decades. Israel Nkomdima was born in the same area formerly called Vlakfontein.
Exactly here in the area, but up there close to the mountain. Yes, that's where I was born. My father came from Zim, and but he came to South Africa to settle, and he started to work here and married South African woman, mother being a Tswana, and that's why now since we were always with the mother, we ended up being like Tswanas. How I got married is that when I was still with the Assemblies of God, there was the very same wife I married. Because myself, I was a person who could not speak to a woman and say, I love you, I want to marry and what else. And it was done for me when I don't know how my mother spoke to her mother and so. Then I started just visiting the home of that sister, but to give her the spoken word and so forth, because I already was supplying to some other people. And when the first spoken word I gave her, and she responded by saying, this is the truth of God, it is this. And I thought to myself, yeah, this should be the right wife. Because at that time, there was no church. I promised to marry her. And so now, So the thing grew up like that, and the arrangements were made. Eventually I got married.
His childhood and youth are marked by some unusual facts. He was followed by signs since birth.
As before I was born, it was like my mother had died, so she was pronounced dead. And after that, she tells me, and the rest of the people, even my wife, knows about the story, that when she was now out, gone, she was like in a place where she received a vision, like, or somebody talking to him. At the same time, she was pronounced dead. But he said, that voice said, go back, because there's look at the tears of the people. There's a work to be done. Now she didn't understand what about tears of which people and so forth. But it said there, look at the tears of the people. And they saw, so go back. So she woke up then. And they saw, that's when I was born after that. Then now, she grew up with this thing in her mind, what it meant. Go back, I see the tears of the people, so on. Then when I started the ministry, she now remembered, she could compare now. When I was going to Congo, to there, and people calling me from both sides. Then she said, can this be the thing that I was told, that look at the tears of the people, that my son now is going around.
Here, the man takes us to one of the places he used to go when he was still very young.
This is a place when one day, that was late 60s, I was here with a dog, my dog. We call that dog Sputnik. So now, when I was walking here, right close to the water, that dog started to know when a dog sees something that is very strange to it. It started with the tail between the legs like that, actually blocking my way. So I was trying to kick it, but humming like. Then it happened that I looked around, knowing that there's something very strange that the dog is seeing. But now I was just alone. From there I moved on, and when I almost reached this road, and the dog started to show some signs of being out of that danger area, and it was now hunting, because it was all the way grass up to the road there. So I entered the house of a friend of mine somewhere here. I can't point out now where the place was. When I entered there, I found the father of my friend Joel and two friends drinking. I asked them, I told them about the thing that the experience there. I said I was there, and something happened there because it was so chilly, yet it was around 12 o'clock, the sun was hot. Then while I was saying to them, I said, now I don't know, maybe you old people, you know about these things. And one said to me, I am from Port Elizabeth, I know these things. And he said, you are lucky, because your ancestors stood for you. I said, what was wrong? And he said to me, be careful every time you are crossing a river. Anytime that thing can take you, because they see you everywhere. If you get into the water, they see you. If you cross the river, they are I said, who are they? And he said, no, it is the underworld gods, like they want you, they need you. I said, for to kill me. He said, no, they want to use you. So now I'll show you the place there.
Pastor Nkomdima has had plenty of this kind of testimonies his whole life, which gave a glimpse of the star of a true servant of God in the making. A former chorister in a Pentecostal church, Brother Nkomdima came across his first William Branham preaching in 1972, and this led him to believe the end-time message.
Now, when we were at church, I used to sing in a choir. Now there was a girl after the church with the spoken word, God of this evil age, in her hand. Now, I was attracted by the color of this book and this title on the book, God of this evil age. Yeah. So I said to this girl, can I see this book? Then I look at it. It attracted me so much, God of this evil age. And I said, can you borrow me this book? She said, no, it's my father's book. And I said, can I borrow it? I'll bring it back tomorrow. She said, yes, if you can bring it back tomorrow, because it's my father's book. He's gonna ask me, where's the book? And when I arrived home, that night, I read the whole book that night. God of this evil age. And now this is the thing I actually am looking for. Yes, and I went to her father, a pastor in that church. I went straight to his home, right in Mamelodi. I said, hey, Pastor, where did you get this book? And he said, oh, do you like that book? I said, yes, I like this book. And then he said, okay, I can give you more of these books and the address of the place where you can get these books. So he came with Daniel 70 weeks, 7 seals, church ages. So he went there. At that time, I didn't even realize that it's Brother Branham. No, it was just the contents, the message that he was pulling me, but not even seeing that it's the same man. But I said, okay, he gave me those books. Then I started reading the spoken word. And I left that church, giving to some other brothers the spoken word. This pastor, he received these books from Brother Retif. He gave me the address, say, if you want more of these books, you phone this man, Willie Retif. Then I phoned Brother Retif. He said, I have received some books so from a minister in Mamelodi, and I'm very interested in them. Then Brother Retif said, okay, it will be a good thing if maybe one day you can visit him. That's how the whole thing started. We thought even the rapture would come in those days, because it came with such an impact in our hearts. It left an impact that even the rapture will just come with thinking of that. The man who helped me a lot was Brother Retif. He's the one who baptized me. Offered us the tape recorders and the reels, and then we started playing, encouraging us that to play, for the people, and so this message and he was so much supportive, even with books.